got closer, he noticed a gun in the taller Ahern's hand. Cordis recognized that he needed to get help, and he slowly backed to the door, telling Mutt and Ahern that the store didn't carry his brand. Mutt squealed, "You'll get your smokes," and fired a shot directly at Cordis's chest. Instinctively, Cordis raised his right hand to shield himself. The bullet slowed down as it passed through the area near his right thumb, and what likely would have been a fatal bullet lodged shallowly in his chest. Cordis crouched to the ground as Mutt yelled to Ahern, "Give it to that son of a bitch!" Ahern ran up to the prone Cordis and leveled the pistol at his head. Before Ahern could pull the trigger, Cordis sprang up, grabbed at Ahern's weapon, and began to wrestle him for the gun. Cordis managed to turn it toward the lanky youth, and he fired a shot. Ahern grasped at his stomach and slumped against the wall of the shop. The injured Cordis turned Ahern's gun toward Mutt. Mutt leveled his own gun, and he and Cordis exchanged wild gunfire across the small store. Cordis's bullets did not strike their target, but Mutt's shots found their mark in Cordis's right shoulder and left thigh. Mutt ran out from behind the counter to finish off the downed police officer, but Cordis leaped forward and tackled the much smaller Mutt. Cordis gained control of Mutt's gun, but Mutt quickly sprang up from the ground and shut himself in the stockroom behind the cash register. The bleeding Cordis stumbled out of the shop just as his brother Freddie, who had heard the gunfire, came sprinting toward it. Cordis advised Freddie to run to the nearest police station to get help. In a scene straight out of a dark comedy, an off-duty police sergeant happened to be walking down the street. The off-duty officer, who was carrying his service revolver, heard the shots and noticed the bleeding Cordis, gun in hand, stumbling in front of the store. Assuming Cordis was a robber, the off-duty cop opened fire without warning and shot Cordis in the back of his right shoulder. Cordis's body spun to the ground as the off-duty officer continued to shoot wildly, striking the window of the cigar store and also a neighboring business. Cordis fumbled for his police shield to identify himself to the approaching officer, but the off-duty officer fired another shot from close range that went through Cordis's right cheek and embedded in his jawbone. Cordis's brother Freddie, who had run back to the scene after hearing more gunfire, arrived just in time to see the downed Cordis kick the off-duty officer in the groin. The blow caused the off-duty officer to accidentally discharge his gun into the ground. The stray bullet ricocheted off the pavement and struck Freddie in the left elbow. Cordis stumbled to his feet and, upon seeing the now bleeding Freddie, realized that no backup was coming. Cordis, who was suffering from 5 bullet wounds, took matters into his own hands and marched back into the store with Mutt's gun. He kicked down the storage room door and arrested the still hiding Mutt. After sorting out the situation with the off-duty officer, the bleeding Cordis, his injured brother Freddie, and the belligerent Mutt marched down the street to the nearby Presbyterian hospital. Cordis arrived through the hospital's front door and was a fearful sight to anyone inside. Mutt was arrested by arriving policemen, and Ahern, who Cordis assumed was dead, was found by ambulance workers still slumped in the cigar shop. He was taken to Bellevue Hospital, where surgeons managed to stabilize him. Amazingly, Cordis was discharged from the hospital only 6 days later. Ahern, who recovered from his injuries and did not have a long rap sheet, was sentenced to serve an indefinite term in the Elmira Reformatory. The troublesome Mutt received no leniency and was sentenced to 15 years in state prison. The malnourished-looking youth was sent to Sing Sing and later Dannemora, otherwise known as Clinton, or New York, Siberia, where he would be housed with the most hardcore convicts in the state. He was now a little fish amongst a sea of gangsters, sexual predators, and murderers. Mutt Witten served all of his 15 years, and when he was released in 1938, he was no longer a boy. He had lost his youthful ambition, and he no longer had the drive to live a life of crime. Mutt was burned out. Like many ex-convicts, Mutt sought work on the West Side piers after his release. Due to the casual nature of the employment, a man could blend in with the group and not stand out as a criminal. The dock workers didn't have to know how to read or write, and as long as they weren't afraid of a hard day's work,